Hello and welcome. And today we're looking at the next video about economics versus the environment. And we're in the middle of looking at various conflicts. And this one is part two about fresh water. So here we have the River Nile starting in Ethiopia in the mountains on the top right and going down through Sudan into Egypt where it enters the sea. And here we have the country borders. So at the top we have Ethiopia and then Sudan in the middle, Egypt at the bottom. And there are some existing dams. There's one in Sudan and there's one in Egypt. There are more than one, but these are just examples. And then we have the new dam that is being built. This is called the GERD, G-E-R-D, which stands for Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Renaissance means rebirth. So they're talking about the rebirth of their nation with all the electricity that they're going to get from this dam. So we're going to look at some of the political issues, because the issues are not all about practical things like control of the water. Politics is also very important. The Egyptian government doesn't trust the Ethiopian government. Ethiopia has had many unstable and bad governments in the recent past. Egypt thinks that even if they made a perfect agreement today, a new Ethiopian government might not follow it. This can happen even in a democracy. President Trump's government did not follow several of the agreements President Obama's government had made about Iran and about climate change. So because of this, the Egyptians want to have an organization like the United Nations act as administration and policeman for the agreement. So here we have an Egyptian guy. He's saying the Ethiopian government keeps changing. In Egypt, we are worried that the next government may not follow the agreement. We want an international organization like the United Nations to administer the dam and be the policeman. And this is the Ethiopian guy. He's saying, in Ethiopia, there's no way we will agree to not having control of part of our country. The debate about management of the dam has been going on for more than 15 years. The Egyptians are upset that the Ethiopians started building the dam and filled it before there was any agreement. And the Ethiopians say the dam is needed to improve the future of many Ethiopian people, and they can't wait until there's an agreement. If they did that, they still wouldn't have started building. So here's a few things that have been happening along the way. So September 2020, the US is cutting aid to Ethiopia over a controversial mega dam being built on a tributary to the River Nile. Next month, October 2020, Mr. Trump, who was president then, said Egypt would not be able to live with the dam and might blow up the construction. Fast forward now to September 2023. Ethiopia has announced that it has filled its Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Same month, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry condemned as illegal Ethiopia's announcement that it had filled the dam on the Nile. The Ethiopians started filling the dam in the 2020 rainy season in June and July. Talks stopped in 2021, and they started again on 27th August 2023, just before the dam was full in September 2023. Egypt is suffering from water shortage, but this often happened in the past. The causes now are probably climate change, not filling the dam. Now that the dam has water in it, it changes the military situation. If Egypt bombed an empty dam, it might work. Bombing a dam with water means the water would flood the area downstream. Because the dam is close to the Sudan border, Sudan would be badly flooded. That would make Sudan join with Ethiopia against Egypt and make it very hard for Egypt to win any war. Another problem in trying to make an agreement is what happens if Ethiopia builds a new dam, that is, after the GERD dam is completed. The agreement is about sharing the water that comes into the GERD dam's lake. What if Ethiopia built another smaller dam upstream that stopped a lot of water reaching the lower dam? So if you look at the map, you can see it has on it already marked in yellow, the GERD dam, which is close to the border with Sudan. And the question is, what if they built a dam where the red arrow is pointing higher up the river? Then, under the agreement, Sudan and Egypt wouldn't get so much water. So we looked at this one before, but now we put another dam higher up the river. So it's going to control the flow of water down to the new GERD dam. Okay, enough. We could go on looking at the situation in Ethiopia in more and more detail, but we would miss the big idea. The big idea is that as the world population gets bigger, we need more fresh water to drink and for agriculture. And even without climate change, this is a huge problem. Climate change affects where the rain falls or doesn't fall anymore, and how much falls, and it means more dams are needed to collect water for dry places. So the possibility of conflict over fresh water is real and big. If you're not sure that lack of fresh water is a big issue, watch this video about drought in California. It's not made by a minority group. The voice you hear is a guy called Manoj Bhagwat. He's an American businessman worth about $4 billion US, who started with nothing.
From fresh, clean water comes food, comes livelihood for farmers, comes health.
This is the first time exceptional drought has ever been declared in California. These before and after pictures show where water levels should be and where they are today.
Whether you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. If you don't have water, you have to move or die. That's going to happen across the world. We have to work on water. There's no choice. So in California, I mean, right now they're not looking at it. Nobody wants to say it. But if you don't get water, if you don't solve this problem, California becomes a desert.
Now, this story could have come from many, many places around the world. But that's not the main point. The point is that this is not a poor, developing country. This is California, one of the richest states in the USA, which is one of the richest countries in the world. A place with the knowledge and the skills and the money to do something about it. But nothing is being done. And this is the end, my friends. See you again next time.